You're not lazy, you're undisciplined. Laziness is such a simple excuse for never achieving the things that you want. So I know growing up in school, I was called lazy all the time because I didn't do what school wanted me to do. But then when it came to things that I wanted to do, like martial arts as an example, then I've never been called lazy in training. I've never been called lazy by a master because it's something I've wanted to do and the discipline is there to do it. So whenever you call yourself lazy, you're training yourself to avoid discomfort and to delay the outcome you actually want. In fact, you're not even delaying it. You're never going to achieve it because the laziness, the effect of calling yourself lazy stops you actually achieving anything really. So think about it like a choice. You can choose the hard life, you can choose the easy life, but the hard life leads to an easy life in the future where you have all these successes and all the things that you want. And the easy life now leads to a hard life in the future where you have nothing but regret, doubt, guilt, fear, anxiety. So it's really ultimately down to you. What are you going to choose? And if you are calling yourself lazy, if you're calling yourself lazy, even if it started with someone else starting it, someone else at school, a teacher, parent, brother, sister, friend, whatever it was, called you lazy, and then they label you that, and you decide to accept that label, then you will, your cognitive bias will prove to you again and again that actually you are lazy. Like, look at the way you're living. And then because you're being proved to be lazy, you will become even more lazy. So most men repeat this as an excuse. They repeat, "Oh, I'm just always been like this. I'm always been a lazy person." And then you identify as that. You identify as a lazy person. So when you identify that, you're gonna manifest it. You're gonna create it. But laziness really is just avoidance dressed up. Most of the time, not saying all the times, but most of the time, people are afraid of failure. And it comes down to, if I didn't really try, I can't really fail. So when something doesn't go right and people go, "Oh, that didn't work," they go, "Oh, sure, I never really bothered." If we go back to school, the amount of times people in exams would go, "Oh, sure, I didn't even study." And then I noticed it when I started to compete in martial arts. People would be saying like, "Oh, I've been injured all week," or "I never even trained," or "Sure, I was out partying last night." They always fired up the excuse, so no matter how it went, they were ready. So if they won, they were like, "Oh, I won even though I didn't train," and if they lost, they were like, "Sure, of course I lost. Sure, I didn't even really train." So it's just avoidance dressed up. We're afraid of looking bad, afraid of looking stupid. So it's hard to look bad or stupid whenever you're known as the lazy person in your group or you identify as a lazy person. So to overcome this, you want to start to think about discipline. And I've wrote here, discipline isn't willpower, it's design. Talked about this before. Discipline isn't, when people think about discipline, they think about something being difficult. Like you really have to knuckle down. Like they make it like almost like a punishment. You have to be disciplined to get this done. To run a marathon, you have to be disciplined in your training in the lead up, and you have to be disciplined in your food and disciplined in not going out. And same in martial arts, you had to be disciplined in what you were doing. They made it seem like it was bad, almost like this. Having discipline is going to be painful, but the long run, my life when I became a disciplined person immediately got better and has continued to get better, physically, mentally, emotionally stronger because of my morning routine, my nighttime routine, the fact that I meditate every day, the fact that I train uh, at least once a week, minimum once a week. But like I'm doing a morning mobility if that counts as training. So I'm talking about like one gym session a week, one homework workout session a week. Like my discipline in doing these things and my two stretching sessions a week, my morning mobility, all of that. If if you wrote that down on paper and I just handed it to you and you've never done anything, you'd look at that and go, oh, it's a wild out effort. But eventually it just becomes part of, you just get up and you just do it. This is just what you do. But it makes everything else easier. I'm less prone to injury. As I get older, I'll be less prone to falling. My bones will be less brittle. My diet's keeping me slim and healthy. So all these things, all this discipline is doing is future-proofing me, I suppose. Not from being hit by a bus or anything like that, but just in general. If I just live to 100 and nothing bad horrifically happens, like a bus, then my body will be designed for aging because I've been keeping it physically active throughout my life. So whenever you think about discipline, just think about systems. You just put systems in place, and these systems help you to stay on track to the goal, whatever goal it is that you actually want to achieve. And then that's how you overcome the identity of being lazy. You can start identifying as someone that has discipline, someone who is a disciplined person. And then the way to start this is just with one anchor habit. So the morning mobility is such a simple one to do because you immediately feel, when you get up in the morning, you're a bit stiff and sore, and you do a wee bit of wiggling, and then you just go on about your day, and you'll say stuff like, I remember I used to have 2 knees, and now I've got a good knee and a bad knee. If you get up, you can start off with 5 minutes. I do 20, but you do 5 and work your way up. Get up and basically I just start at the top, work my way to the bottom, just manipulating my joints, moving around. If a shoulder's tighter than the other, I just move it more until it's not tight. Once you anchor this habit, just one win a day, the mobility one, immediately you feel better, you feel more relaxed. You're like, I do it immediately. I don't look at my phone or anything. I look at the time, or I still use my phone as a alarm clock, so I'll turn off the clock. But I have it on airplane mode, and I don't have anything coming in. It's just the alarm. Then I get up and I set the timer. Sometimes I'll listen to an audiobook, so I'm doubling up, or a podcast. Sometimes I just do it with nothing and just listen to my own thoughts. And I move for 20 minutes. I'm starting my day self-regulating, self-focused, loosening the whole body so it feels better for the day moving forward. So if you can create one habit, just start with one and do it for 7 days in a row, and then reevaluate, and then just keep building on those habits. You'll eventually overcome the identity of being lazy or being lost or being afraid of failure, and you'll start to embrace failure a wee bit. We learn a lot about ourselves in failure, probably more than in winning. So if you have one habit, so this is the challenge, the action step for this week, is the do it anyway drill. So pick one task you've been avoiding and then do it today. So whatever it is, don't negotiate with yourself, just do the task. And then tomorrow, pick another task, or if it's a new habit forming thing, then do it again tomorrow. But just for today, pick something, do it, don't negotiate with yourself, just get it done. It might be a hard conversation, it might be finishing a project, it might be doing a mini workout, it might be doing a full workout, it might be joining the gym, it might be reading a book, doesn't matter what it is. Just decide today you're going to do that, and then build on that from today and just keep going. Feel free to let me know what it is that you're doing. If you want a wee bit of accountability, reach out and say, right, for the next 7 days I'm going to do 30 push-ups a day, or 10 minutes of mobility in the morning, or I'm going to read every day, or whatever it is. And then just check in with me, and that will hopefully help you to get past the 7 days. So they tell us, like, it takes 21 days to make a habit, it takes 30 days. Like, there's been so many different time scales to habit forming. But I think it's once you decide that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to deviate from it, I'm not going to negotiate with myself, that's when you create the habit. Then it's just about doing it until it becomes just part of your everyday life. So let me know how you get on with that, and have a super awesome day, whatever you get up to.